Hello and welcome back to yet another video with Revision Hub with Jazzy Joan. I'll be continuing to look at beliefs in society, which is an AQA sociology topic. Last video we looked at the functionist perspective of religion. Before we continue, on paper or flashcards, quickly jot down what you remember from our last video. You will only know this if you revised, rested, tested, and repeated yourself. Let's look at the feminist perspective of religion. So, feminism, as I mentioned, is a political movement, and please do not forget that don't get that mixed up. Jean Home is a sociologist, and Jean Home looked at Chinese, Japanese, and found out that women prepare all of the rituals, but men dominate the rituals by actually doing them. That shows that women do not get a fair chance to dominate over the rituals, and yin and yang, I think men are much more dominant there as well, so you can see this there. Another example is women in Islam are not allowed to touch the Quran when they are on their menstrual cycle. In Catholicism, women cannot become priests, but that's changing, of course, in evangelical churches. So we can see some change, but not full change. Simone de Beauvoir argues that women are oppressed, and they believe that if women are oppressed within their lives, they will rely on religion, and religion provides them with that comfort zone that they will be rewarded at one particular point within their life. For example, it is God's plan, God will reward you. These sorts of things can be seen in the Bible as well. Armstrong argues that before they were things like Mother Nature, woman of fertility, that those are labels that women were given. Now such labels are not given due to the rise in equality. As a result, women are not longer worshipped as they were before. So then again, it becomes quite male dominated. Nawal al-Sadwani argues that it's not religion, but rather is society that is defining patriarchy. For example, different cultures have different views on what is considered as modest dress codes. So try to use these examples when you're writing an answer. So as mentioned, and here I wanted to link to Woodhead when we looked at Armstrong, and Woodhead found out that Muslim women wear hijab to prevent them feeling as though they're sexual objects. So let's look at the Marxist perspective of religion. Lenin, a sociologist, argues that religion is a spiritual gym that creates a mystical fog. So Karl Marx argues that it oppresses oppressed, as we know. So this is done as religion tells us that, it is God's plan, God will reward you, please be obedient, but that is what religion actually states. So, examples which are good to use is that it is easier for a camel to go through an eye of a needle than a rich man to enter a kingdom of heaven. So that's a very good example to use. It's from the Bible. Also linking to the Bible, since we're on there, the book of Job, where Job was given a punishment, and that punishment was God's test, and it was God's plan, and then Job became rich after all of that. We look at the Hinduism caste system. Hindus are arranged within a caste system, and they're told that if they obey the caste system and marry within the caste system, then they will be rewarded, and the reward will be that they will be rewarded into a higher caste system within their next life. So these can be criticized. Pause and have a think how these things can be criticized. Okay, let me reveal there's no fixed answer for this, so you might have different criticisms, and then they are perfectly valid criticisms that can be used. So, for example, it helps you to deal with the fate, but neo-Marxist argues that it's not always a hindrance. Religion can be very, very helpful at multiple times. So we're going to look at neo-Marxists in my later videos, so please do not forget. So also it can be criticized by functionism, Marxist, and feminism, because they have obviously different views on religion, and they believe that religion plays various different functions. So we're going to look at Weber's Calvinist beliefs. So these are a few words you need to know. Predestination is God has predetermined who will go into hell and who will go to heaven. Divine consent is the belief that combines with predestination, and it creates a salvation panic. Asceticism is basically self-discipline and to live a simple life just like Jesus did. So, the main belief is that people fear salvation. They face the salvation panic as you can see in the keyword divine transcend. So, as a result, they reinvest within their business, they do not experience any leisure activities, they try to live a simple, self disciplined life just like Jesus did. They worked very, very hard so that they could achieve salvation. But in reality, we can see religion resulted into capitalism because they were trying to fear salvation there and thought that by them not doing these things, they might be able to achieve salvation. So, religion, on the other hand, caused a result in social change, causing capitalism to take place because as a result of individuals working hard, there was more money, more business. As a result of all of these things, it led to a rise within capitalism. So, it's good as it looks at the economy as well as links in with religion. However, Marshall argues that capitalism in some places are still slow to develop, and this is potentially because of other factors like the lack of skilled labor and the lack of investments that takes place. Capitalism is also slow to develop in Scotland because Scotland is said to be an aesthetic country who is Calvinist as well. However, capitalism is still slow to develop in Scotland. Tawney argues that no, it is not Calvinist beliefs that equals capitalism, but rather is technology. So that could be an argument as well. So let's look at Hinduism. Hinduism is an aesthetic belief, self-discipline. However, Confucianism is not. But both of these countries, capitalism is slow to develop because they do not believe in capitalism, nor Hinduism, nor Confucianism, which is a world religion. So, but capitalism still is slow to develop regardless if the country is aesthetic or non-aesthetic. So, Weber's Calvinist belief, is it really linking to this? No, because it is a true criticism of Weber's Calvinist beliefs. What we've learned, so far we've learned and looked at the feminist and Marxist perspective, as well as Weber's Calvinist belief and how it's causing social change. Next video, I'll be looking at religious movements, again, a rise of social change, and the neo-Marxist perspectives. Till then, don't forget to revise, rest, test and repeat yourself the content in this video and all other previous videos. And do not forget to follow my Instagram channel, and you can tag or scan here Revision Hub _JazzyJ. And don't forget to love Canva, like, subscribe, comment if you do not understand anything, and press the bell icon to never miss a video. Thank you so much for your time, and stay tuned to Revision Hub